Good afternoon. You join me here for a portfolio shoot with Helen. Helen is an actress. I've just driven about 45 minutes and just arrived a few minutes early. And I'm going to try and record this. I'm going to set a camera up, I hope that's okay with her. And just leave the video camera running in the corner so you can sit in the corner and see what I do and how I do it and the shots I get. When I get back home and I edit the thing, I'll explain a bit more what I'm doing. I won't be doing any talking to the camera while I'm actually doing the shoot, but I hope you find it interesting. Gear I'm using is it will be the D780. This is a paid shoot. I tend to only use my D700 for photographs for me, for art type photographs and that kind of thing. The lens, it's my 85 1.4 D lens. I don't know how big her house is, so I may have to go down to a 50 or maybe even a 35. Certainly not for any portrait shots, but I think she wants some long shots as well. I find these shoots actually quite difficult. If I'm doing a boudoir shoot or a modeler shoot, then I find it quite easy to get the light right, to get the right look, to know what I'm aiming for, because I'm basically trying to make them look younger, slimmer, more attractive, do the lighting so it's really nice. But for an actress's portfolio shoot, she wants realistic photos. There's no point in making her look 20 years younger than she really is, because these photos will be used by her agent and other agents to get her parts in films and TV shows. So it's quite difficult. I want to produce really good photos, but they've at the same time got to be very realistic and natural looking. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'll just mention that I'm really excited. There should be an arrow pointing here saying this is excited. That I've just won a lens on eBay, and it's a really special lens. Since I got the D780 3.5 months ago, I've been looking for this lens, and this lens has not come up for sale until, what was it, 2 weeks ago, on eBay in the UK. You can buy them from Japan, but they're a lot more expensive. Then you've got the shipping, you've got VAT to pay, import duty. I just didn't want to get involved in all that. And finally, one came up a couple of weeks ago. I put a bid in before I left. Actually, the auction finished as I was driving here, and I'm really chuffed to have this lens. If you'd like to find out why I'm chuffed, let me and see the video when I explain about this lens, how I'm going to use it and what it does. If you obviously subscribe and hit the bell, the notification thing, then you'll get to see that. I'll be doing that when it arrives. Hopefully he's going to post it fairly soon, so 4 or 5 days time, and I'll have that and we'll do a video about that. So I'll take you into her house now, and we'll see how things go.
Do a workout on a Monday and a Thursday. My God, today's was hard because there's.
Do you watch someone?
Yeah, Mick, the guy. Well, I always point there because that's where I have my phone. I have it standing on the plant, and I'm just here. I'm thinking if I just hide behind the door, I can have a rest. But he'd know if I disappeared for too long. Yeah.
Get some light on,
Yeah.
to try and get that a bit darker if we
Okay.
can. Because with this lens, I can't get the background quite so blurred.
Yeah.
As with other lenses.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want the weights in, or should I take them out?
Just
Because you can't really see.
just leave those out for the second. Just let's start off with. Oh.
Let's do. The cat wants to be in it.
No, you're not supposed to be in there, Cat. You're messing up my kitchen.
Yeah, great. Okie dokie. You want the window closed now, the curtain?
Let's try. I don't think many other poses.
Do you want a downward facing dog? There's the famous downward facing dog.
The down dog. No. Is it down dog? Is it
downward facing dog?
What about sitting cross-legged?
Yeah. So as soon as the cat knows I've got this out, it's here we go. Mum's doing yoga.
Your shoulders in that gear, it doesn't really
matter
where you are, does it?
And then I'll change into the because I don't need to have all the poses. I just really need to have one to show that I'm quite healthy and fit. You know, quite healthy and fit.
Right. So that was. Just do that again. That was.
Yeah.
I like that. That's Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Right, so shall I go and change now into the office because I might keep my hair up.
Okay.
I might have a couple down, and then for daytime I will have my hair down.
Okay.
So I won't be a second.
Okay. That's about 30 shots there, so there should be something there.
Yeah, even if we get one.
Yeah, okay.
They're just fun, aren't they? And then maybe just some head and shoulders.
Just some head shots, yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Right, back to normal. Right, actually, I don't even.
So just
Where's my other lens gone? I've lost.
Check my hair.
I've lost my lens. Oh, because you got. Do you want some shots? These shots. I was going to say with your hair down.
Yeah.
You've done it.
Yeah, I did it. Yeah. Because I thought, well, they're all up, and I'd forgotten to take some officey ones down, but.
Yeah. You make this so easy, you really do. And welcome back. It's a day later for me. It's about 0.1 of a second for you. But anyway, here we are in Lightroom with Helen's photos. I've imported these and I'm not going to go through loads and loads. I'm just going to do probably 2 just to show you how I edit and what I will be giving Helen and her agent as her portfolio photos. So this is one of the shots straight out of camera. And as you can see, it's a little bit underexposed. Just go over the settings, 200th of a second, 1.4, of course. What's the point of having a 1.4 lens if you don't shoot at 1.4? I don't understand it. If it's not sharp enough at 1.4, then what is the point in buying a 1.4 lens? If we zoom in to 100%, that for me is plenty sharp enough. I really don't need anything any sharper than that. I think probably my 50 Sigma art lens would be a tiny bit sharper, and if I'd have shot this at f2.8, f3 or something like that, again it would be a tiny bit sharper. But it's a portrait shoot. We're not. I don't want to emphasise every single little dimple and wrinkle, and in fact in a minute you'll see that I actually try and get rid of some of the detail. It wasn't very light in it, it was a bit dark, so we've got 800 ISO. So straight out of camera we're looking like that. One of the things I do first is just hit auto, just to get it in the right ballpark. Because she's wearing black, it's a little bit dark. We'll lift the shadows a little bit more. Then what about the crop? I don't want this to be just a face. This is intended to be a top half shot, so I'm going to leave the crop as it is. White balance is as shot. Again, you could go to auto. It probably won't make much difference. A little bit more blue. I think I prefer the as shot. I'm not going to add any texture or clarity or dehaze or anything like that. if we come down to the detail, we've got 0 sharpening, 0 noise reduction. Oh, sorry, we did have, I'm short. 0 color noise reduction. I am going to enable the profile corrections. We won't have any chromatic aberration because we haven't got any backlight, so that's fine. And we've got no effects or anything else. So very simple. So I'm just going to zoom in to about there. And why does Lightroom do that? I didn't want that changed. Let's go back. Right. So zoomed in 25%. Helen isn't 20 years old, and whilst I don't want to make her look unrealistic, I am going to be a little bit kind, and I'm going to use a brush. I've got a brush set up called Soft Skin, and all I'll do is brush this over, and all it does, it just removes some of the contrast and highlights and applies a bit of softening, and it just makes some difference. Now that is way too much, but the reason I've done that is so I can actually see where I've been and where I haven't been. Simply then come up to the overall adjustment here and keep taking that back until we get to a point where it's made a difference. I think if we click the before and after, it's just knocked back the details just a tiny bit, and I think that is probably about all I'm going to do. No, I'll tell you what, I will just put a little bit more light, not that much, on her face, just to emphasize her face a little bit and take the rest of the exposure down just a tiny bit. One thing I do, certainly if it's for professional use, and is to just check that I've got the correct exposure. Now, by doing that crop and just looking at this part of the screen, we get the actual exposure for just that part. So that's her face. It's her face I want correctly exposed. So I do really want the histogram to be in the middle-ish. I'm not worried about it being actually a little bit, tiny bit on the light side. Just hit escape twice and it will get rid of that cropping. So that her forehead is now, we know, absolutely correctly exposed. Depending on the screen you're using, it may, and the room you're sitting in, because the ambient light might affect the way it looks. That actually might be correct according to the histogram, but I'm still going to push the exposure up just a tad. I think maybe because she's against a white background, it just makes her look a little bit on the dark side. So that's that one done. And as I say, this isn't supposed to be a beauty shoot. She's not up for a modelling job. She's an actress, and this is a realistic, natural looking photo. Let's choose one of the last ones I did. In fact, the very last one. No, don't. I'm not. Do I prefer this one? Okay, let's go for the just the headshot. This one. Again, let's hit auto. And I'm not sure if we've got any adjustments on that. No, we've got no adjustments. Again, I will enable the profile corrections. And again, shot at 1.4. If we go to 100%, I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? That's so zoomed in. And comparing that with the shot we did just, the photo I edited just now, this definitely looks a heck of a lot sharper. So maybe go back to the other one and just find one that's very similar and see if I can find one that's even better in focus. It was good enough. I had no problem with it, but just doing the same on this photo now, you can see that this one is a fair bit sharper. You can see the depth of field we've got here. This is crazy, isn't it? Eyelashes perfectly in focus, eyeball in focus, eyebrow is definitely not in focus. So we've got a difference of what there, 6-7 millimeters. So crazy sharp depth of field, but that's kind of the reason why photos taken with lenses like this do look so good, in my opinion. So I think there we've got a little bit too much in the way of shadow. We've got too much in the way of highlight. I need to crop this because that's looking out of balance. So we'll go to a 4:3. There's no stipulation regarding the aspect ratios. And I'll zoom into 25 and we'll do what we did with the last one. Soft skin. I think adjustments like this should be such that the client, Helen, could look at this and say, yeah, that's me, and not realise that there's actually been anything done to it. So that's before, after, before, after. It's just that hint of softness put on there, and that just makes a little bit of difference. Now I'm also going to do something else which may be taking things a little bit further than I should do. Another adjustment brush called Hair Shine, and again it's way over the top to start with so that I can see what is happening. And this just livens things up a little bit. And again, just a matter of getting the right balance. So quite a small difference, but just a little bit of more interest in her hair, because the light is coming from this direction, from the right hand side, so it would catch her hair here and just up here, so it's sticking to being pretty natural. Exposure wise, so we'll do the same as we did last time. Just get a box on her forehead, and again that's slightly off to the right, but I'm quite happy with that. Again, being against a white background, a light background, I think that's fine. So there we have another one, and that basically is what I'll do. I'll deliver I think about probably 20 images to her, and that will be that job done. Actually, I'm just looking at this, and I've just spotted that we've got some highlight on her shoulder there. So I'm going to use the graduated filter. And I'm just going to do very simple darken, just to drop the exposure down at the bottom here, drop the highlights. Okay, I'm fine with that. And now I think we will brighten it up a little bit. Sorry, we will brighten it up a little bit more. Just the overall exposure, and that is it. Right. And of course, what I can now do is save that as a preset, or choose the other photos I want, and simply hit sync, and we're 95% of the way there. Apart from obviously the adjustment brush, I'll need to delete that and redo that. But everything else should then be nice and consistent. And hopefully she'll be very pleased. So thank you very much for watching. Don't miss my next video, which I think I'll be able to do tomorrow. This is about the new lens I'm getting, and if you hit the subscribe button and the bell, of course you'll get a notification to say that I've done that, and you can find out what the lens is, why I think it's going to be so special, and maybe help you in your own photography. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers for now.